morning, guys. How are you doing today? I hope everyone is safe and sound. So, without wasting more time, let's start our lesson today, literature. So, this is for grade 8, pull out, okay? So, open your book at page 358, okay? So, all the background story start from that page, and the story will finish at 373, okay? 373. So our story today is the monkey's paw. Okay, the monkey's paw. So let's read the summary really quick. The story is suspenseful and it deals with the White family, father, mother, and son Herbert. The monkey's paw was given to the family from a guest who recently returned from India. It was said that the monkey's paw was able to grant three wishes to its owner. The first wish was made by Mr. White, who wished for £200, which the family did not need. The next day, Mr. and Mrs. White get a phone call telling them that their son had got caught in a machine at work and has passed away. The second wish was made by mother to bring the son back. They hear a knock at the door and Mrs. White goes to answer. As Mr. White makes the final wish on the monkey's paw, the offer leaves you hanging in suspense at the end, and they never revealed what the last wish was, and when Mrs. White opens the door, her son is nowhere to be found. So, the characters in the story are Herbert White, Mrs. White, Mr. White, Major Morris, and the representative, okay? You will see all these characters while you read the story, okay? And for those who do not have the book, I will add the PDF excerpt from the book, okay? So you can read it anyway. So let's see the author of this story. So it's W. Jacobs, which means William Wymark. He was born in September 8, 1862 in the UK. He died September 1st, 1943. The Monkey's Paw was published in England in 1902. Although most of his short stories are humorous, he is most famous for some of his horror ones as well. So the genre of this story is speculative and horror fiction. Okay, the thematic statement. So be careful what you wish for. Okay. Proof. An example from the story is when the father makes his first wish, he wishes for £200 that he didn't really need, and it resulted in the death of his son and the money going to the company. Major Morris tells the Whites that fate ruled people's lives and that those who interfered with it did so to their sorrow. Activities. So the narrative point of view and resolution. So we have another point of view. So this is short story. So it is narrated in the third person. Who we know this because the story doesn't say I. So that tells you none of the characters are talking, and the narrator is someone else telling the story. So the resolution of the story is when Mr. White makes his third wish, so no one else can use the monkey's paw, and the scary corpse of their son goes away. So the protagonist and the antagonist. So the protagonist is the main character, and the antagonist is the person who is against the protagonist. Okay, the protagonist here is Mr. White, who makes the wishes drive the action. The antagonist is Major Morris and the fakir. Major Morris told the White how to use the paw. The fakir is one who actually cursed the paw and said by Major Morris. So the setting. So the setting of the story is a small parlor of Laburnum Villa in which the White family lived. It is said to be quiet, far from the other houses. So the season is unknown, but it's said it's cold and wet. Another setting is Mo and Megan's, which is the factory in which Herbert worked. So you will discover all this while reading the story, okay? So the conflict of the story is there are two different types of conflict in the story. Personal versus supernatural and person versus self. So the monkey paw is a dangerous supernatural object, even though The White family know this. They decide to test fate and make a wish on it anyways. Person versus self. Mr. White has to decide whether or not to make a wish on the Poe, and again, when his wife wants him to wish her back to life. Now, let's move on to the dynamic and static characters. So the dynamic character, Mr. White, is the dynamic character because at the beginning of the story, he wanted the monkey's paw and had no fears of what would happen. Then at the end, he didn't want it because if the bad luck, it threw him with his son. Okay, brought him with his son. Static character Mrs. White is a static character because at the beginning and end of the story, she wasn't comfortable with the whole idea of the monkey's paw. Now, what is the symbolism of the story? The monkey's paw is a symbol of desire and greed. It's anything the three lucky men could wish for Mr. White. Saved it from the fire to be able to use it. The wish they made wasn't something they needed, and in result, the Whites lost their son. Then, thinking everything would work out, they wished for their son back, and his corpse raises from the grave, leaving them to use the last wish to get rid of him. Chess symbolizes life in the monkey's paw. Those who play a daring game of chess, for example, will lose, just as those who take unnecessary risks in life die. Okay, so think about it. Text to word connection. Theme of modernization, technology, and industrialization. Okay, the White family live a very simple life with little technology. Herbert gets killed in a machine-related accident. White's neighborhood seems forgotten as people would have moved into the city for more factory jobs. Many countries, especially in Asia, still have such hazardous working conditions. Example, Bangladesh hazardous factory conditions are still a major relevant problem today. The story also portrays technology as a bad thing as technology becomes more advanced, like it was when this story takes place. It can do far more, but it can also be dangerous. New technologies and their potential to be dangerous is still relevant today. So now, please go to your book. For those who do not have the book, as I mentioned in the beginning, I will attach the PDF from the book, okay, for this story, okay, and also you will have another PDF to do the activities uh, that are related to this story when you read them. So please do those activities, and if you have any question, please ask me, okay. Thank you very much. Have a good day.